Breaking news! Things are heated behind the scenes at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you better get ready because there are probably some surprises ahead. What you're about to hear could completely redefine the upcoming NFL season for the Steelers. Several insiders, heavyweights at all major sports networks, are pointing to the same shocking prediction. I'll tell you all the details right now, but first, make sure you've already hit the like button if you love the Steelers with all your heart and want to see this team in the Super Bowl. Man, that would be a dream. I'm still going to keep believing that we'll get there. If possible, comment like this: "Go Steelers! I want to see you in the Super Bowl." Yes, my friends, let's get to the point. I wanted to start by talking about Aaron Rodgers, but in a moment we'll talk more about him, including the news we just learned. But first, check this out. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky is sounding the alarm, and it's not good news, unless there's a major shakeup at the center position. He predicts the Steelers could start the season 0-6 if Mason Rudolph is the #1 QB when the 2025 season begins. That's not a typo. A winless start. According to Orlovsky, Pittsburgh's opening stretch, facing the likes of the Jets, Seahawks, Patriots, and division rivals like the Browns and Bengals, is brutal enough. But with Mason Rudolph leading the charge, he put it bluntly, "I think they're staring 0-6 in the face." Well, that's not exactly the kind of optimism fans want to hear heading into a new season. Now, to be fair, Rudolph isn't without his merits. He holds a winning record as the Steelers' starting quarterback, September 1st, 12, and he's not exactly a pushover. But when you talk about ceilings, potential, and playoff magic, let's be real. He's not the guy you want trying to go blow for blow with elite AFC contenders. He might keep the ship afloat, maybe scratch out a 9, 8, or 10-7 season like we've seen in recent years, but can he carry the team deep into January? Most say no, especially after his forgettable playoff outing in Buffalo 2 seasons ago, where he barely completed 50% of his passes. Enter the name that's been dominating headlines: Aaron Rodgers. The rumors aren't coming from fringe bloggers or Twitter speculation. Every major voice in the NFL media landscape is expecting this deal to happen. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Mike Florio, Tom Pelissero, they've all said in no uncertain terms that Rodgers is leaning toward Pittsburgh. And here's the kicker. He's already visited the Steelers, reportedly the only team he's met with this offseason. He's been working out with DK Metcalf in California. Yes, the same DK Metcalf now wearing a Steelers jersey after signing a massive $30 million per year deal. Coincidence? Not likely. Tom Pelissero might have said it best. It's a matter of when, not if. According to insiders, Rodgers' hesitation to sign isn't about money, fit, or franchise. It's about off-season programs. He's been historically vocal about his disdain for OTAs and minicamps, calling them unnecessary, and even pushing during CBA negotiations for players not to show up until August 1st. This is classic Rodgers. He's known for skipping voluntary workouts, preferring to start building chemistry once training camp begins. So his delay in signing might just be him doing things on his own time. Even Art Rooney II, the Steelers' owner, has weighed in, saying he hopes to get Rodgers in before OTA sessions begin on May 27th, but admits the team is prepared to wait as long as it takes, as long as it doesn't stretch past training camp in late July. Head coach Mike Tomlin echoed this approach, stating that spring is for teaching and familiarization, not evaluation. But make no mistake, if Rodgers doesn't commit before camp, the Steelers may be forced to pivot. Tomlin's line in the sand is training camp. After that, it's decision time.
Big Ben Roethlisberger chimed in as well. While praising Rodgers' football IQ and experience, Ben stressed the importance of early reps with new teammates, getting used to the cadence, and building rapport with coaches. But even there, the counterpoint is clear. Training camp offers a month of daily work, plenty of time to gel. Now, think about this offense. DK Metcalf as the WR1, Roman Wilson thriving as a slot specialist, Calvin Austin III adding vertical speed, veteran Robert Woods contributing in run-heavy sets, and potentially Aaron Rodgers orchestrating it all. With Arthur Smith designing a West Coast scheme that aligns perfectly with Rodgers' strengths, the ceiling could skyrocket. Pittsburgh would instantly go from a team fighting for wild card scraps to a legitimate contender in a loaded AFC. So here's the burning question, Steelers Nation: if everything is lining up, if the coaching staff, the ownership, the locker room, and even the fan base are all ready, what is Rodgers waiting for? What do you think, fans? Is Aaron Rodgers worth the wait? Or should the Steelers draw the line and move on? Let me know in the comments below. And once you're ready, just say continue and I'll bring you the second part of this deep dive into one of the biggest stories in Steelers history. Let's pick up right where we left off. If you're still watching, that means you're just as intrigued as we are about the Aaron Rodgers saga. And honestly, who wouldn't be? We're talking about a 4-time NFL MVP, a Super Bowl champion, and one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game, potentially joining a franchise with 6 Lombardi trophies. It's a storyline loaded with drama, hope, and high-stakes consequences. Now, let's not ignore the flip side. As much as Rodgers could elevate this offense, there's also risk. He's coming off an Achilles injury that wiped out his 2023 season. He turns 41 this December, and he's never been the most enthusiastic participant in team-organized activities. But despite all that, the Steelers are all in, at least emotionally. They've shown their hand. The moves they've made, the patience they're displaying, even the structure of their draft and offseason acquisitions, all hint that they believe Rodgers is coming. Look at how they handled the quarterback room. The Steelers didn't make a big splash at QB in the draft. They took Will Howard late, but that's not a win-now move, it's a developmental flyer. That tells you everything. If Pittsburgh believed Rodgers wasn't coming, they'd have made a more aggressive move by now. Instead, they're waiting. And the only reason a team is methodical and disciplined as the Steelers would wait this long is if they've been given reason to believe the wait will be worth it. On the field, the fit is compelling. Arthur Smith, now calling the plays, wants to reestablish the Steelers' identity as a physical, run-heavy team that can stretch the field when needed. And that's where Rodgers thrives. He's elite in play action. He commands pre-snap reads better than almost anyone in history. And he can still deliver those back-shoulder lasers and deep shots that have made his highlight reels must-watch television for over a decade. Rodgers wouldn't just bring production, he'd bring swagger. That confidence, that edge, that calm under pressure. Pittsburgh hasn't had that presence under center since Roethlisberger's prime. And you better believe defenses would think twice before sending the house against Rodgers with DK Metcalf on the outside and Roman Wilson or Calvin Austin heating up space underneath. Let's also not overlook Rodgers' growing chemistry with the locker room and coaching staff, even before officially signing. Reports confirm he's been in frequent communication with Mike Tomlin. That's not just standard due diligence. That's 2 leaders actively laying the groundwork for a partnership. And his off-season throwing sessions with Metcalf? That's more than casual workouts, it's calculated preparation. Now, let's talk about the domino effect. If Rodgers does sign, how does that affect the rest of the roster? First, Mason Rudolph would return to his rightful spot as the backup, a role he's proven to handle admirably. Will Howard can be stashed, developed slowly without pressure, and it allows Arthur Smith to unleash the full version of his offense with the playbook wide open. You don't just run your vanilla scheme with Rodgers under center. You bring in motion, disguised formations, audibles at the line. It becomes a cerebral, fast-paced attack. And let's not forget how that impacts the defense. A competent, productive offense means longer drives, fewer 3-and-outs, and more rest for a defense that was already elite. TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick feasting while the offense chews clock. That's the recipe for a championship-level football team. So Steelers Nation, you've heard the case. Rodgers could transform this franchise overnight, but only if he commits. Is this a brilliant long play by a veteran QB who's earned the right to go at his own pace? Or is Pittsburgh setting themselves up for a disappointment by putting too many eggs in the Rodgers basket? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around. We've got another video on screen right now breaking down the Steelers' new alternate uniforms for Week 8 against Green Bay. You don't want to miss it.